The President of the United States has been running an online flea market full of riffraff and knickknacks for years to personally enrich himself, to grift off of his working class base supporters. And now he's segued into being a car dealer. And yesterday he put on a full blown infomercial because Elon Musk's feelings are hurt because nobody likes the fact that he's a Nazi and nobody wants to drive a Nazi mobile. Let's listen to what Trump says to help band-aid Elon's bruised ego.
I'm just telling people, this man is a great patriot, and you should cherish him. You should cherish him. You know, I have a little statement. We have to take care of our high IQ people because we don't have too many of them.
Mr. President,
and we got to take care of them.
Mr. President, will you talk to President?
Okay. Are you serious? We don't have that many high IQ people. I would agree with that. We don't have very many high IQ people in the White House, in the executive branch, in the cabinet. It is a cabinet full of crackheads, and the ringleader of all the crackheads is Elon Musk. And all of this insanity about high IQ people. Do you remember when the toddler was picking his nose in the Oval Office and wiped his booger on the Resolute desk? Trump introduced him, a 3 or 4-year-old, as a high IQ toddler. And these guys act like they're so masculine, yet they need all of this superficial praise constantly to mask how breathtakingly insecure and unintelligent they are. Next up, we have Trump talking about the markets. While many, many, many working Americans, many elderly, have all of their retirement in 401ks, and it appears that Donald Trump is intentionally manufacturing a recession. Play the clip.
So, Mr. President, when you look at the market selling off, that didn't concern you?
Nope, doesn't concern me. I think some people are going to make great deals by buying stocks and bonds and all the things they're buying. I think we're going to have an economy that's a real economy, not a fake economy. It's a fake economy.
Okay, so did he just admit to a pump and dump scheme for his followers, for all of the shareholders? A lot of people have suspected that that's what he's doing, that all of this is completely manufactured. And I want to remind everybody, we don't have to be doing any of this. You elect people to do their best job for the most people possible. And he is intentionally wrecking the economy. And you have to constantly ask yourself, why? Who benefits from this? Well, who benefits from this are his shareholder billionaire oligarchs, but even they are losing hundreds of billions of dollars. So then what's deeper than that? Who benefits from the United States economy being completely eviscerated, and who benefits from the dismantling of the federal government of the United States of America? I'll tell you who benefits from it. It is Vladimir Putin, whose economy is in tatters, whose military is completely depleted, and Russia now cooks the books. They put out fake numbers about their inflation. They put out fake numbers about their economy. And the fact of the matter is, Russia is in the weakest position imaginable to negotiate anything. And despite their weak position, Donald Trump and Elon Musk will bend over backwards, expand their online flea market to a car dealership in the driveway of the Oval Office to please Vladimir Putin. This is dangerous. This is insanity. And no wonder everybody else in the entire world cannot stand America right now, because this is an absolute disgrace. But I'm starting to see, is Fox News catching on to this? Is Rupert Murdoch instructing his entertainers, and I'm going to call them entertainers and not journalists, to slowly start pivoting? Let's listen to this question from Fox, Peter Ducey.
President Trump buying a new car, while there are some folks who will see this clip at home and they are struggling with their retirement accounts down at the moment, uncertainty about work ahead.
Well, I think they're going to do great. I think our country had to do this. We had to go and do this. They've taken away, other countries have taken away our business. They've taken away our jobs. I did it initially very strongly against, as you know, China and some others in the first term.
Okay.
And it was a very successful.
We did not have to do this. Nobody had to do this. Nobody has to wreck the economy. This is a complete made up cult-like propaganda where Trump is constantly telling you the FBI and the Department of Justice, they're a deep state. Well, what did the FBI and the Department of Justice, how did they impact Trump's standing? They offered transparency and accountability. So, this is what cult leaders do. They throw out lies to make you hate the people that hold the cult leader accountable. And this has been done for over a decade. And this is all orchestrated by KGB agent Vladimir Putin. This is a 911. House is on fire. People are losing their money. Many of his supporters have been fired and lost their jobs, and he is now a car salesman. I mean, this is the biggest white trash, piece of shit, corrupt president this country has ever seen. This is third world shit. And again, cult leaders often project. He would always say this America is a banana republic and look at how crazy our leaders are. That's projection because that's what he wants. He wants an unaccountable, untransparent government so that he can enrich himself and his friends, and then he can use mafia-style tactics, just like Vladimir Putin did to Navalny, to go after anybody who questions him. All right, here's a really weird moment. Straight out of Fox News, Peter Doocy again. Listen to this.
This is a White House that came in trying to get federal workers to retire by the hundreds of thousands. But it's tough to make the argument that you should retire if your retirement accounts are getting throttled, which is what is happening right now.
Yeah, it's really difficult to convince people to retire when you're eviscerating their retirement funds. And I want to remind everybody that the Wall Street Journal did an article right before the election that whoever wins, whether it be Kamala or Trump, they are inheriting an economy that is the envy of the world. Inflation was decreasing. The stock market was stabilized and growing. The economy was growing at a very rapid click. And we came out of COVID better than anybody else because Democratic policies, whether MAGA votes for them or not, help them. They help the majority of these MAGA voters the most. Don't ask me, talk to all of these farmers out in rural America that were benefiting from Biden's Inflation Reduction Act. And now Trump is completely dicking over the farmers as he dicks over everyone that ever does business with him. The difference between Trump 1.0 and Trump 2.0 is he has learned how to be corrupt from the beginning, from the jump, at a much quicker click. And the time clock, the alarm is about to sound. We have to be organized. We have to attack the traitors that are in the White House. We can talk about the car dealership. We can talk about all of his riffraffs and knickknacks. But at the end of the day, this is an administration that is beholden to Russia. This is an administration that is beholden to Vladimir Putin. And all of this other stuff is just a sidecar. But let me show you what they do underneath the scenes. Here we have Dr. Kevin M. Young on MAGA Nazi-style propaganda. If you see that pink triangle, and he says, a sitting president of the United States using a literal Nazi symbol, the pink triangle sewn onto 15,000 gay men's uniforms in concentration camps to clearly mark them as LGBTQ for shame and extermination. Wake the hell up, America. So here's Donald Trump promoting to his base, hey, we got you. Go along with us with this market stuff. And make no mistake, this is to enrich the 0.0001% and Vladimir Putin and put America in a weak position so that Vladimir Putin can cash in on how he has Trump compromised and Trump's naivete. But he's signaling to his very religious, very homophobic, very racist base, hey, we're still going after the gays. Don't worry, I got your back. This is a total hoodwink. These people are absolute Nazis. But let's listen to American lawyer Mark Elias, what he says about further Nazi parallels with Trump's administration and Nazi Germany.
Doing a lot of reading in the last few weeks and months. You know who instituted a system of justice like this? The Nazis. I mean, Hans Frank, who was the Nazis' head lawyer, changed essentially the German legal code and said that no longer were lawyers to advocate for their clients, they were to advocate for the state. and that if they advocated for their clients adverse to the state, they themselves were committing a crime. And that transformed the legal establishment to pave the way years later for what became the Holocaust. You know who else has a legal system like this? Russia, right? In Russia today, if you are a lawyer and you defend clients that are considered to be enemies of Vladimir Putin and you make arguments that displeases the regime, you yourself face liability. And so, look, the American legal system is far away from Nazi Germany and is far away from Putin's Russia. But I do think we need to recognize that an independent judiciary only works with an independent legal system.
So there you have it. He produces all of these sideshows, the cars, the riffraffs, the knickknacks, the toddler, picking his nose and all of this stuff. He produces all of these sideshows, but all of it is to mask what is going on. And he wants to be a dictator, and he's hell-bent on being one. But here is where his actions are such a fool's errand. He's trusting and or compromised and or both by Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin has the psychological file on Trump, and he knows exactly how to play him. And at the end of the day, the more and more the American government, aka Trump's government, acquiesces and capitulates to Russia, Vladimir Putin will dick him over. He is playing, as Fox News says, Trump's playing, 97 dimensional chess. The person who's playing this game and who has the patience and who is diabolical enough to play this for the long, long, long haul, and he has, is Vladimir Putin. And it is so important, and I don't know why the media doesn't talk about this that much. Russia's economy is in tatters. They cook the books. Their inflation is sky high, a massive recession, and their military is completely depleted. And we're arriving at the negotiating table as though they have leverage over the United States of America and NATO. It's wild. But the only logical answer here, and this is what Democrats and all Americans need to acknowledge, this is a coup, an intentional coup by the Russian government over the United States of America. Next up, I want to remind you that in this tent of MAGA, we have the far right-wing Christians, and they are very anti-Semitic. So you see the Anti-Defamation League yesterday praising Donald Trump because he illegally detained and arrested a green card holder who exercised his First Amendment right to protest about the Israel-Gaza war. And this is where the organizations like the ADL need to be really cautious, because the MAGA base is incredibly anti-Semitic, very, very anti-Semitic. Listen to this nut. His name is Joel Webbin, huge MAGA thumper. Listen to, and there's a whole world on the internet where people are just buried into this type of rhetoric. Millions of people watch this. Millions of people believe this. Listen to this.
Jews cannot hold public office. They can live here, and they can live here peacefully and all these kinds of things. But no, this is a Christian nation, and those who reject Christ.
So think about, Donald Trump had an infomercial for a Nazi, Elon Musk, who did 2 Sig Heils intentionally on purpose to signal to the MAGA base, yeah, I don't like the Jews. And then this is what MAGA triple Trumpers traffic in. This type of right-wing Christian nationalist propaganda is a huge echo chamber, and they get millions and millions and millions of views. So I want to leave you all with a little bit of humor here, and this was something that I found online. This is a billboard that kind of made me chuckle. Elon Musk gets a lot of hate, but it's not enough. We can do better. So let's do better. Let's all work together to boycott Tesla, to make Tesla drivers feel nothing but abject shame for exposing themselves as Nazis. Now, to those of you that have Teslas who have put Toyota or Ford or something else on your cars, I know that you're in a position where you might not be able to change vehicles, but we have got to bully Elon more. We have got to bully Trump more. Our democracy and the world order depends on it. Make sure you subscribe to our show, and we'll see you all later.
Duck Walk by Ariel Williams. Henrietta Wilkins rushes to church one Sunday morning, accidentally leaving her gate open. Her duck, Duckwisha, seizes the chance to take her 5 ducklings to the local pond. Along the way, the ducklings fall into a manhole, causing a town-wide rescue effort. After a frantic search, Duckwisha finds her ducklings safely swimming in the pond, and the heartwarming story makes local news. Meanwhile, Henrietta realizes her mistake and panics, but the firemen reunite her with Duckwisha and her ducklings, bringing a happy ending to their adventure.
Get your digital copy today at lulubooks.com and experience the adventure in EPUB or PDF format. Make sure you have a compatible reader to dive into this unforgettable journey. Don't miss out, unlock the secrets, and let the story begin.
Terms and Conditions of a King follows King, a young Arab-American man whose journey of self-discovery leads him through heartbreak, longing, and growth. After ending a promising but unsustainable relationship with Thomas, a man of status and high expectations, King finds himself grappling with loneliness and yearning for connection. His encounter with Malcolm, a charming but emotionally unavailable man, reveals the pitfalls of settling for less than what he deserves. Through it all, King's dreams, his growing independence, and his candid conversations with his confidant, Princess Ariel, guide him toward a powerful realization: self-worth cannot be compromised. Set against the backdrop of everyday struggles, budding careers, and the complexities of modern love, Terms and Conditions of a King is a story of resilience, introspection, and the courage to let go of what doesn't serve you. Ariel Williams weaves a tender and transformative narrative about learning to value oneself, even in moments of uncertainty, and believing in a future where true love and fulfillment are possible. For more, click tree link in profile.
The Terms and Conditions of a King, A New Beginning. Ariel, with her young daughter Jasmine, walked into the optical lens store one day to find King being verbally attacked by his coworkers. Witnessing this harsh treatment, Ariel immediately felt a deep sense of sympathy and concern for King. She stepped in, offering support, which forged a strong bond of friendship between them. Over time, as their friendship blossomed, they began to share their personal lives and struggles. Eventually, they both discovered something astonishing: they had been connected for much longer than either realized. They had been meeting in a shared dreamscape, where they had formed a deep, unspoken connection. Ariel had been there to comfort King in a difficult time, offering him advice, unaware that their paths would eventually cross in the waking world. This revelation deepened their bond, and they began to explore not only their growing friendship but also the strange, mystical connection they shared through their dreams.
Get your digital copy today at lulubooks.com and experience the adventure in EPUB or PDF format. Make sure you have a compatible reader to dive into this unforgettable journey. Don't miss out, unlock the secrets, and let the story begin.
Bella the Dog from Springfield, A Tale of Truth and Transformation. In the small, charming town of Springfield, Ohio, lived a regal standard poodle named Bella. Bella belonged to Mrs. Von Thursenberg, a well-known figure in the community, always polished, conservative in manner, but a lifelong Democrat. For years, she hosted elegant soirees, engaging in local politics, and treating her home like a kingdom. Bella had grown accustomed to a life of luxury, complete with fancy collars, custom bow ties, and an endless supply of treats from those who adored her. Recently, however, things had changed. Mrs. Von Thursenberg had been watching a lot of Fox News, and it seemed to have swayed her thinking.
Get your digital copy today at lulubooks.com and experience the adventure in EPUB or PDF format. Make sure you have a compatible reader to dive into this unforgettable journey. Don't miss out, unlock the secrets, and let the story begin.
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you. Mm-hmm. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.